Welcome to the Aaron Harber Show. This is the lighter side of the Aaron Harber Show. I'm your host, Aaron Harber, and we're talking about collectibles and comics in particular. In part one, we began opening my comic book collection, which has not been opened for over 4 decades, which kind of gives away my age. Joining me today, Chuck Rosansky from Mile High Comics and Wayne Winsett from Time Warp Comics. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so we've started to open comics, and one of the editions you seem to like, Avengers number 4.
This is the nicest one you've had in your collection so far. The first Silver Age appearance of Captain America is prominently displayed on the cover. And this is after he had just been recovered by the Avengers after being frozen in ice in the Antarctic for decades.
All right, and how should I protect that, Wayne?
Well, all the comics, especially this age, you would like to put in Mylar sleeves, and this is a Mylar sleeve, so you always have to be very careful how you put your book in the Mylar sleeve. And you just slide it in there, and as careful as you can, and you're good to go. So it looks really nice in there. It looks even better in that nice Mylar than it did outside of it.
Much shinier.
Very shiny, yeah.
Well, also now it's protected, and if people want to handle it, and if you want to check the condition and things like that. But you do have to be careful, because especially with early Marvel comics, a lot of them have a little chipping on the edge. And if you slide them in with Mylar, the Mylar is actually sharp up at the top.
It'll cut it.
Yeah, you got to be really careful. But once they're in the Mylar, they're much better protected.
All right, we're going to see what else is in the box. We opened the box on the first show. We actually have 2 boxes. One of the things I mentioned was I found, a couple of other. This I think this is Chicago White Sox official scorebook, and this is from the 1969 White Sox. That I think is Carlos May, for people who are familiar with baseball, and. Carlos was actually one of my mentors because I was mainly in left field.
Wow.
Okay, now you guys are coming. I don't have any idea what I wrote. I have all kinds of numbers here. I don't know if you can catch that.
Those look like the dates that the comics actually came out.
Yep, those are release dates.
Oh, no kidding. Well, how about this? Here's the Hulk, and you were commenting on my artwork there?
Yeah, you were trying to replicate the logo is what you were doing. So
Which I always used to do too.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
When you're writing
You
stuff
mean
down.
do I qualify as...
a comic book weenie, yeah.
Okay.
So maybe you could be a comic book artist. You missed your calling in life.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
According to many people, I've missed many callings, but that's another discussion. Okay, so this looks like I had an inventory, and when I got... I bet G plus means I thought it was in good condition.
Yeah.
F plus meant I didn't think it was, and U, I'm not sure what maybe U was, but I don't think it was probably positive.
Uncirculated. See, the original comic book grading system was borrowed from coins.
Are you serious?
And so when we were first doing grading back in the late 1960s, that's where it came from. People would take a look at the coin world as kind of a model for how to grade comics. It's become much more sophisticated since then, but that was the original. And here's your nomenclature right there: excellent, good, fair, and unsatisfactory.
That's not uncirculated.
So yeah. So you was not or uncirculated, which would have been nice.
No.
My U here. Let's see.
Unsatisfactory.
It says unsatisfactory.
Yeah.
So that's that's like a 180. I mean, that's literally going from
that's an F.
to go. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't make the grade.
Okay, so Fantastic Four. Let's see what else we had. Well, it looks like I was planning to collect. Oh my gosh, this whole book was.
But there's more.
No, there is more. Here you go.
So this gets back to what we were talking about before. All the numbers.
Let's see. We have Spider-Man.
What's your first number, though? That's really important.
You know what? I'm not going to tell you. We're going to see if we can find out here. All right. So this is Spider-Man, right?
Uh-huh.
You figured that one out, and then I'm going to put this
By the
down.
way, the very first number that I saw there was number 50, which, because it's the first appearance of the Kingpin, is not quite as valuable as the Avengers number 4 unless it's in great shape. If it's in great shape, the first appearance of the Kingpin is $800 to $1,000, would you say?
That's probably right.
Yeah, somewhere between $800 and $1,000, so it might actually be more valuable than that one.
Really? Okay. Something called Strange Tales?
Yeah. And that was featuring the art of Jim Steranko in the issue that was there on the top, and that was Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Dr. Strange.
Dr. Strange.
Yeah.
Strange Tales with
Oh my
Dr.
God!
Strange
Looks
himself.
like
That was Gene Colan at that point.
I don't know. Something's in here. I don't think this is good. What? Well, I'm not sure what this is.
Find any dead mice yet?
Not dead ones. Let's see. This is this is the Fantastic Four, and I have it up. I'm not sure what this is.
Well,
You want to take a look at the Fantastic Four?
as I mentioned earlier, you were astoundingly prescient for as young as you were to have put away these books so well, because that's the number one failing, is that people let water get to them. And you know, we have, oh, those are nice early Spider-Man. We have sort of a joke that when a comic book geek sees a really cute girl, the kindest compliment that he can give her is that she's a double bag item, okay, which means that she's so cool that if you were to have her as a collectible, you'd put her in not one protective layer, but two. And you double bagged all your comics. I don't know anybody who double bagged their comics in 1969. I don't know anybody.
What do you have there, Wayne?
We have run-of-the-mill Fantastic Fours, 70, 71. Speaking of the Silver Surfer, here's a really nice cover with the Silver
Oh, that's a
Surfer in it.
beautiful
up,
cover.
yeah, good.
Yeah, Jack
Soaring
Kirby.
the Skyways by Jack Kirby.
Here you go. Here's the Silver Surfer.
Again, Aaron, it looks like all these, like the rest of the ones we've looked at so far, were subscription copies.
Well,
so,
I must have subscribed.
and,
You know, that would not have shocked me.
and you
Whoa.
can press a lot of this out with that
All right,
way
we're
that Chuck
gonna.
was talking.
These don't look in very good condition.
But actually, because this is a key issue, this is the first appearance of the Green Goblin. This would probably be graded as somewhere between a fair and a good, which is pretty low, but that's still several $100s easily, and it sells very, very quickly. It's a highly desirable key book. The Green Goblin obviously appeared in the Spider-Man film. He's the main Spider-Man antagonist, except for maybe Doc Ock.
No, he's the number one.
Doc
I'd
Ock
say.
is in Dr. Octopus.
Yes,
I assume
sir.
we have to be careful of the shorthand here for our viewers.
And then this is the second appearance in number 17. But the first appearance in 14, that's, I mean, even if you got just a poor condition copy. Now, a high grade copy of that book could easily sell for $3,000 to $5,000.
Oh my God.
A super high grade copy would probably sell at auction for $8,000 to $10,000.
Wow.
That's a great book. Even in this condition, it's still going to be very desirable. I can sell this book all day long if I can get it. You just don't get this many. This particular one is really, really hard to get. It
In
seems
that
like.
condition, what can you sell it for?
Well, we'd have to look it up in the guide. We have a couple of price guides that I brought, and you know, this is just a guide. It really isn't maybe the
Here, hold
what
up the
you'd call
hold up
it,
the cover so
the
people can see
Bible
it.
per se, but it is the Overstreet price guide, which most of the comic book stores in the country go by. And if I was to just look at it really quick, Amazing Spider-Man 14, this condition would roughly retail for about $171. So
That's not
not
bad.
too bad.
But the thing is that when you're looking at that guide, one of the things that we look at with comics, there's the price, but then there's also the velocity. How quickly will it sell? And a book like this, you can price it quite a bit more than the guide because the velocity on this book is as high as you get. Whereas if you took a look at number 6, even though it's older, and it also, I mean, it has the lizard in it. That's the first appearance of the lizard.
yeah.
But it just doesn't have the same velocity as that book. So this book you could sell, I can sell this book for double guide pretty easily, whereas this one I might sell for guide or maybe guide time, 1.2 or something like that. So there really is a judgment factor that's involved here in how to interpret the numbers that are in here. And again, a dealer on a high velocity book will pay you 50% of what they're going to sell it for, but on a lower velocity book they might give you 30%, and on dead books you're lucky to get 10%.
Fascinating. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Chuck and Wayne in just a moment.
There's more of the Aaron Harber Show after this.
You have probably I don't know, $6,000 to $10,000 worth of comics. And it's like going to a movie back in the day and saving your ticket stub and being able to cash it in today. You're coming out like a bandit here.
For information on how to help promote civil and mutually respectful discourse and support expansion of the distribution of our programs, please email info@harbertv.com.
I'm Aaron Harber, host of the Aaron Harber Show. Find us on Facebook to get all the latest updates, see behind-the-scene photos, and make comments and ask me questions. You can see episodes before their TV broadcast, so like the show today. Hi, I'm Aaron Harber, host of the Aaron Harber Show. Because I've never done endorsements or commercials, people ask how are our programs funded, especially because we provide them as a public service to all our broadcast outlets. It's expensive to produce our show, whether we do them here in Denver or go to places such as Aspen, Washington, D.C., or even Iraq. The answer is we depend on contributions to support our work to bring you some of the nation's top opinion leaders. Individuals, businesses, foundations, and other nonprofits make tax-deductible contributions to the Democracy and Media Education Foundation to help allow us to continue to work for you. To find out more or to make a donation, just go to dmefd.org. The DMEF is a tax-exempt public charitable organization and has promised to dedicate 100% of every contribution to support our public affairs initiatives. If you believe as I do in the need for a forum which promotes civil discourse and mutually respectful discussion, I hope you'll decide to make a contribution today.
Join me and watch the Aaron Harber Show.
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 I'm Reverend Jesse Jackson. Watch the Aaron Harber Show and keep hope alive.
The Aaron Harber Show may be viewed 24/7 at no charge from any location in the world at www.harbertv.com.
Welcome back to the show. We're talking about this old comic book collection. This is Thor. Now, I don't know why this was wrapped in string. Maybe I ran out of tape or something like that, but it looks like the bottom issue, the bottom one is the, well, no, this says 61. So maybe this is...
Now those are, that would, if it's actually Thor, that would actually be prior to Thor, because that would be Journey into Mystery. Because Thor, 61 is Journey into Mystery 61. Thor started with issue 83, so you have the third Thor here. You have number 85, and then you jump to 90, then you jump to 94. But prior to them putting Thor in as a character, they were doing science fiction stories under the Journey into Mystery imprint, which started in the 1950s. So wow. Journey into Mystery started around 1950, I want to say 5.
Who has the scissors?
I do.
Oh, all right. We're putting Chuck in charge of unwrapping Thor. We're going to see what. Excuse me for all. And I'm gonna let you tackle. And I see this. I'm concerned if there's water damage or something. Look at this. Something happened here, but I don't know if.
Well, we'll take a look.
Here you go, Wayne.
Thank
I'm gonna let you take a look at. Start working on. Is that the Hulk?
This is the Hulk you said you didn't have, the number one.
Oh, you got the Hulk 1?
I don't know. Is that what it says?
That's what it says.
Well,
let's hope so.
Okay, we're gonna do Thor first.
Yep. See, you have the science fiction stories here. There's no Thor in this, but it's Journey into Mystery, and later on it was Journey into Mystery featuring Thor. Okay, so let's take a look and
here,
see.
they want to. Okay, I was going to.
Let's see what your 83.
85.
Oh, 85. It's in nice condition, but it's not. And this is a lower velocity book.
That's the first appearance of Thor?
Third
appearance.
83 was the first.
Yeah.
And that's really desirable.
And who is that? The nemesis is
Loki.
That's Loki.
He was in the Avengers movie.
Yeah.
He's going to be in the next movie also.
Yeah. So these are
Thor's
good. But,
half-brother.
yeah, but Wayne has the.
I like how Aaron put this when he put all these staples here.
Oh, let's just hope the staples
over.
missed the comics.
Yeah, it looks like they did feeling it.
All right.
Which is kind of funny how Well, I
I'm not sure what you. I hope there's no psychiatrists watching the show in terms of when they see 800 staples on that.
That's a lot
Hey,
of staples.
kids do what kids do. It's just depending on what your mood was that day.
Ooh, be careful, be careful.
Yes, sir. We will not cut your
You
comic.
break it, you buy it.
Okay. I'd like this
It's not a
one.
library kid. Okay, that's our. As long as this isn't coverless, you're going to be happy.
Yep, this looking good. This looks real good.
No.
4. No, it's not what was advertised in this one.
It's not.
This is a Hulk 4 and a Spider-Man 64.
Hold it up. So it's not.
Hulk-
Someone stole my Hulk #1.
Well, I see what you did. So you circled number 4,
Oh, so I
saying that
only
you
had
had
number
a 4.
You're right. So hold up number 4, I guess.
So this is number
Oh,
4.
now I'm
which is-
disappointed.
well, it's still a good comic.
Yeah, and how can you be disappointed? You put something away 40 years ago that was seemingly had little value except in terms of to you.
Right.
Okay? And you know what you're looking at here with your collection is that you have probably, I don't know, $6,000 to $10,000 worth of comics. And you know, it's like going to a movie back in the day and saving your ticket stub and being able to cash it in today. You're coming out like a bandit here, and you were very prescient. But that Hulk #1 in low grade is a $2,000 book, and in high grade it's a $20,000 book. So you traded away the really big jackpot that you had there.
Should have kept that. Well, actually, when I did this, my plan was to try to keep them in good enough condition so that someday I could open these up and read them all again.
Sure.
I wasn't thinking about selling them.
No, they had an
just-
entertainment value.
I just thought, wouldn't it be cool, you know, when you're much older, to open these up and just spend time reading the comics? And now I'm thinking, how much time would it take me to read all these?
Well, they're fairly quick reads, and they're really they hold up extremely well. I still read these comics from this time period pretty regularly.
Yeah, so do I.
And they've done a lot of reprints of them that you can buy like as hardback books, or you can buy them as black and white, big like telephone book type
I
books.
wanted to ask you about that. One of the things that I noticed, and let's hold one of those up. This is the X-Men.
X-Men #4. Early feature of Magneto, who's been prominently displayed in the movies, of course. Not the first appearance, but this comic has seen a lot of wear and tear. It's got tape on it, so that really takes the condition down quite a bit to probably, in this condition, is probably about a fair, which is half a good. But still a fun read, a lot of
Yes.
fun.
Yeah,
Stan Lee again, writing.
Yeah, I got to admit, I loved the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with Chuck and Wayne and take a look at a few more comics.
There's more of the Aaron Harber Show after this.
Well, there's one thing you need to know about these. Okay, these are in super great shape, but they were subscription copies, which means they were folded in half when they were mailed. But there's a new thing in comics now where beautiful books like this that have creases, they actually put them in hydraulic presses and take the subscription folds out.
Your opinions, ideas, suggestions, and criticisms related to guests, topics, questions, or the host are welcome. Please send an email to producer@harbertv.com.
Hi, I'm Aaron Harber, host of the Aaron Harber Show. For information about the program, who our upcoming guests and topics are, and ways you can participate, please go to our website. That's harbertv.com. And most of all, thanks for watching. Hi, I'm Aaron Harber, host of the Aaron Harber Show. It's tough for me to limit myself to 140 characters, but you can see how well I do by following the show on Twitter. Follow me at @Aaron Harber.
To obtain a DVD copy of this program, please contact info@harbertv.com.
Welcome back to the show. This is our last segment, part 2 of a 2-part series with Chuck Rosanne and Wayne Winsett, and we are talking about comic books. All right, this looks like something happened here, Chuck.
Yep.
What's your analysis?
I don't know. It could be just about anything, but some type of liquid, some type of moisture got into your box some way, somehow, And I don't know if it got to your comics or not. I don't think so, because you double bagged them. So it looks like by having 2 layers of plastic to protect them, even 4 decades later, they're still in what appears to be the original condition you put them away in.
All right, and I got to tell you, this doesn't even look always like my handwriting here. This is Strange Tales issues 168 and others, but I think it gets better because it looks like it counts down. It looks like this is number 7. Here's 6. Here's 5. 4, 3. Let's go to the bottom again. I don't know why I put the. Let's see what's at the bottom. At the bottom is number 112. Does this mean anything to anybody?
Well, yeah, the first issue with Human Torch was...
Mr. Rosansky is the official opener of the last... Actually, we actually have more. I was going to say the last package, but we have another small box, but we don't have time to open it. So tell me about this. What is this? And
well,
Wayne,
the Human Torch was the main character that was the hero character. Human Torch, who was in the Fantastic Four,
yes.
Member of the Fantastic Four, was given his own title, starting with Strange Tales 101. But this title actually really took off when they brought in Doctor Strange. I believe Doctor Strange was 115 and Captain America was 114, right?
Right.
And was Doctor Strange in 110?
Yes, he
Yeah,
was,
110.
yeah.
You don't have 110, but you have the Captain America, but unfortunately it is what we call a rag. It's a reading copy, but it's in such low condition it wouldn't even really make fair. So it's not terribly valuable. If this was in near mint condition, it would be $800 book maybe, but in this condition it's about a $10 book. And that's something that we really want to emphasize, is that old comics, when you find them, condition is everything, and if they're incomplete, that's really a bother. But unfortunately, Human Torch was not a success. And so this particular stack of comics is not that good. But that begs a question. We were talking a little bit earlier about the fact that your Hulk 1 through 6 are all gone except for number 4. Now, what I'm very curious about is, were you trading with other kids? Because you had those comics, they were on your inventory. Where did they go?
I did trade with other kids. I did.
Well, something that you may not know is that in the 1960s, comic book fandom began. It really started in the early 1960s, about 1962. And by the time these books were being put away in 1969, there were things called comic book fanzines. And fanzines were little publications that people would turn out on Ditto Masters at their schools more often than not. And people would exchange information and knowledge like they do today on the internet, except in those days they mailed it around. Well, I have a feeling that someone who was a little bit more knowledgeable than you talked you into trading your really rare Hulk number 1 away for something else, which may have seemed like a fairly good trade. How old were you then?
Oh, I was 3.
No, I don't think so. No. So if
No,
you were
actually, I would have probably traded a Hulk 1 for anything. I loved the Silver Surfer. I loved the Human Torch. You could have convinced me easily to have taken a Strange Tales for, you gave me 2 Strange Tales for Hulk number 1, I probably was there.
Yeah,
You didn't know any better.
Yeah,
No.
you didn't know any
Could you?
better,
No.
and it's okay. But in all collectibles, knowledge is power. Okay, so if you know more than the guy that's across the table from you when you're doing swapping, the odds are really good that you're going to end up with better stuff. Okay, and I think that you got shysters a little bit. Somebody who knew a little bit more about what the collectibles market was way back in '69. And Hulk number 1 in 1969 was about an $8 comic. I mean, it was not terribly valuable, whereas today in high grade it would be a $20,000 comic. But still, the comics that you swapped for in the day were probably worth a quarter. So somebody, it was a little bit you got kind of taken there.
I get taken daily, so I'm sure that's...
Well, all of us do, because again, knowledge is power. I mean, whoever has the knowledge wins.
Now, you guys are in a business that, Wayne and Chuck, that you've got to enjoy so much, because you have in your case millions of comics. I mean, I would probably spend all my day reading.
We can't.
No.
You can't.
I'd
I mean,
love
is
to.
it like someone who works at a bakery? You can't consume all the cupcakes, or what?
Well, not all of them. No, but we do. I mean, we could not do this business because it really doesn't pay that well. I mean, we talk about all these numbers and all these comics that we sell and everything, but at the end of the day, the operating costs consume most of what you're doing. And so we do this because we actually really love it. And the one thing about being in our business is the freedom. We don't have anybody telling us what to do for the most part. I mean, we got to make our bank payments like everybody else, and we got to pay our taxes and all of that. But outside of that context, neither one of us has a boss. And so if I want to get on a plane and fly down to Dallas and buy 25,000 comics like I did this last weekend, I can do that. And or if I want to just, stay at the store and paint the walls, I can do that too. And that freedom and our ability to interact with people who read comics, who tend to be really pretty cool people as a general rule. I greatly enjoy our customers because they are so diverse. And it's a good life. I mean, it's a really good life. And then every once in a while, we can tell somebody that they hit the jackpot. I mean, that's a good thing. Makes for a great day.
Oh, that's fun. All right. So of all the comics that you've seen so far, what would be your favorite, and what do you think is the most valuable one?
Well, you've got a lot of Avengers, which is really popular because of the movies. The first Green Goblin and the Amazing Spider-Man 14 is a key book. Again, we look for the keys because we know we can make the most money on those in the long term. So the Avengers 4 and the Spider-Man 14 are the two best I've seen so far.
Now, one of the things that I noticed after I stopped collecting was there'd be reprints of a lot of comics.
Yes.
I didn't like that.
Yes.
Well, it's also like the second printings that are coming out for, say, Spider-Man 700. People want the original first printing, and they don't want the reprints in a lot of cases because they just want to have that particular thing because they think in their heads that it's going to be worth the most money in the long term. And sometimes second printings can be worth just as much or more than the first because they have such smaller print runs. So, but everybody wants the first thing,
All right, now we're ending the show, but I also got to tell you that obviously I'm a huge Marvel fan. I did not collect. I don't think
There's
I collected.
no DCs here.
No, there are none.
Any DC. What's that? Is that? I mean, when I was collecting, most of the kids I knew had either one or the other. What's it like today? DC, Marvel. Is there still any tension there?
There is, like Chuck was saying, the
yeah.
Hatfields and the McCoys. It's two competing comic book companies, and they call some of the people Marvel zombies. That term is stuck over the last 40, 50 years, that just get Marvel. That's all they like. They won't even look at a DC. And there's other people that like nothing but DCs and won't touch a Marvel. So personally, I like both. I think that I like Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Thor, so I like a little diversity in both companies.
I read all of them at this point, and also a lot of small press books. So I like a lot of books that are being done independently by people who might turn out a comic once every 6 months and do a print run of 3,000. And a lot of those are very good reads also. So the comics world right now, we're actually on a roll. The best comics in history are being produced today. And that's because the people that grew up with these are now making them.
All right. Well, I want to thank Chuck Rosansky and Wayne Winsett for joining me today. Gentlemen, this was just a lot of fun. Thank you
for
so
having
much.
us here.
Loved it. Thank you, sir.
Oh, my pleasure. And we're going to keep talking. And on our website, we'll have more information about what we found in this box and also in the box that has not yet been opened. And we'll even take a look at what's in here. And I've been accused of having all kinds of things. We'll find out later. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Please contact us. We want to hear from you. And thanks for watching.